So hi everyone, I welcome you all to my YouTube channel. My name is Jay Arora, and in this video I'm gonna discuss about how I published my research paper. So basically this video is gonna be all-in-one guide for you to publish your research paper. We'll be discussing about two basic things in this video. The first is what all elements can help you boost your chances of getting a research paper published in a very reputed journal, and the second one would be what are the complete steps in getting one complete paper published, what are the timelines, what all are the procedures through which you will have to go through to get your finally paper published. So let me just brief about my paper. I got one paper recently published in one of the topmost journals of ASCE. If you are a civil engineer, you must be knowing about what ASCE is. ASCE is nothing but American Society of Civil Engineers. So one of the topmost journals of ASCE is Journal of Construction Engineering and Management, with an impact factor of more than 5. So this impact factor is quite good. So it took me almost I would say 7 months to get my paper accepted, and how it got accepted, what all troubles I faced, and let me also tell you that my paper once got rejected also. So why it got rejected, and in the same journal I sent that paper once again, how it got accepted in the same journal after being rejected once. We'll be discussing everything in detail in this video. So watch the video till the end and also subscribe to the channel if you are new to the channel. So let us first start with what all you have to do to get your paper published. See, there are several steps. What all steps are? All these steps depend upon journal to journal. See, first of all, if you are in your MTech or BTech or PhD, you will be going through your complete research. You will be doing some particular research, and you will be obviously doing research on an area that is not being undertaken in any of the researches. I mean, not the area, but the topic that you will be dealing with would have some research gap in the literature. That means that particular thing on which you are doing your analysis or research would have not been taken up by anyone else prior to your study. So that is one basic thing that is very crucial for your research. You need to identify the area or the part on which you will be conducting your study, and that should be completely unique. Since now you have started working on that particular thing, you will take some time, you will collect some data, you will do some statistical analysis or some kind of analysis, maybe some neural networking you will be using, or some any basic regression analysis maybe you will be using, and then finally you will be concluding your research with some results that are useful to the body of knowledge of the existing literature. Then you will be drafting your manuscript. Manuscript is nothing but the draft that you will be preparing in the normal A4 sheets by typing, or maybe you'll be using Microsoft Word or maybe latex platform you'll be using, and that is called as the manuscript that you will be submitting to a particular journal. So this manuscript may be of different number of pages, will have some specific format. So now for me, for my particular paper, the manuscript was almost of 30 number of pages, and it took me almost 3 months, I would say, rigorous months, because each section took me so many number of days. Like for literature review I spent almost 10 days maybe. Similarly for methodology part I also spent some 10-15 days. Then analysis took me some particular number of days. Then drafting the abstract, results and conclusions and discussion part, then references, everything took me around 3 months. So depending upon your research area and the part on which you are working, it might vary. So after you draft your paper, then the next thing is that you have to choose a journal for which you are preparing your paper. Like in between only you should identify that which journal you are choosing, because your complete formatting and all will depend on the type of journal, the text size that you will be using, the text font that you will be using, the table formats that you will be using, the figures. Like for example, in my journal it was some Times New Roman with a font size of 12. For headings it was something else. The tables had some specific format that you can get from their websites. And similarly, like manuscript has to be formed in a different PDF. Then for figures I have to form a different PDF. Then similarly for tables I have to form a different PDF. So these are instructions you will get from the journal website. Now how to choose a journal type for your research area? You have to go through different journals and you have to read the scope of their journals. Like for example, my topic was on labor productivity in construction. So I went through since in my civil engineering, ASCE is one of the most most recognized bodies. So I went through the journals of ASC in the first stage because I thought they have the journals with very good number of rankings. So I thought that I will prefer ASC journals. Now coming to the point that which journal of ASC I had to choose, then I went through their scope of different journals. Then I saw the productivity as the scope in the journal in which I submitted the paper and my paper got accepted, Journal of Construction Engineering and Management. You have to do the same process. You have to visit the websites of different journals and you have to read their scope and identify that which journal is the best for your particular research area. Also, you have to see the rankings of those journals. No, you have to see the quartile rankings, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. You have to choose the best quartile rankings for the journals. So this way you can choose the journal in which you have to submit the paper. Now your manuscript has been drafted and your journal has also been chosen. Now the next step would be you have to submit to the journal. Now what are the procedures of submitting your paper to the journal? That will be totally dependent on the type of journal. You will have to go through the website completely and you have to read the instructions that how can you submit the paper to that particular journal. Like for me, I went to the website, I just signed up and there was an option submit new manuscript karke. Then in that I have to submit all the details. Like they will be asking so many different questions like whether your paper is a technical paper or it is a case study, and they will be asking so many other questions like whether you have submitted your journal paper to some other journal also. So many questions will be there depending on the type of journal. You have to answer all those questions. Then you have to submit all the PDFs, maybe in the form of Word format or latex format. That is also dependent on the type of journal. And then you have to also submit a cover letter to the editor. This will also be dependent on the type of journal. And finally your paper would be submitted. Then the paper after submission goes to the editor. The editor, what the editor does is he or she will be assessing your editing part. Like they will be checking the scope, whether you have submitted your paper to the correct journal or no, whether your grammar is fine or no, whether the English that you have written is fine or no. Basically it will be a kind of screening, I would say. It may get screened at this point also, and within a period of 5 to 10 days the editor can also give you a decision of rejection. It won't give you the decision of acceptance, because if it gets accepted from the editor, then it passes to the peer review process, wherein maybe 3 or 4 people will be peer reviewing your complete manuscript. For me also, what happened at this particular stage, the paper got rejected by the editor. Now the reason that the editor gave me for rejection is, as you can see from the mail itself, the reason was that my paper has insufficient technical content. That means my technical content is not enough, and the reason that they have given for this particular statement is that my paper is based on a case study. Like in my paper, what I did was I studied construction labor productivity, but in so many places I mentioned about my country, India. So the editor thought that the paper is constrained to India only, because in so many places I talked about the construction labor productivity in India, Indian scenario and all. So they thought that the paper is restricted to India, so it should not be submitted as a technical paper, rather it should be submitted as a case study. So this was the major concern, and the editor returned back my manuscript and it was rejected by the editor itself. I lost my hopes, but my guide told me that it's not a very big deal. You just modify your paper once again and we will again submit it, and we will write the letter to the editor with the manuscript that we have corrected our paper in this and this way, and we are submitting our paper as a technical paper now again. Okay, so my paper got rejected, but I again sent it to the editor once again, and I waited for 5-10 days, but nothing reply came from the editor. That means my paper is screened from the editor and it has passed to the peer review stage. Now it will go to the peer review stage, wherein maybe it will take 1 to 2 months or maybe 1.5 to 3 months depending upon the type of journal. They will peer review it. Maybe 3 or 4 or 5 number of reviewers will review your paper thoroughly, and they will take ample amount of months, and then they will reply to your paper. They will reply whether the paper got rejected or the paper got accepted or the paper has to be re-revised. All the 3 cases are possible. Either the peer reviewers, they can simply say that the paper is not good enough, so we are rejecting. Second, if it is very good, then they can accept it in the first go itself. And the third case is that they may give some corrections, they may give some minor comments or some major comments that you will have to address, that you will have to wait for maybe 2 months or 3 months after submission of the manuscript, and then they will send you a mail. Now in that mail they will have some comments, you will have to address those comments. See, if it gets rejected in this process, then you cannot submit it once again. Maybe you can try once again, but I don't think so it will be very much possible to get it accepted in the same journal. You can try for some other journal. If it gets accepted, then it's well and good. If it gets a revision, then you have to address all the comments properly of all the reviewers. Okay, now if you have a revision, then you just revise the paper completely. You draft a response to reviewer comment in a particular format. There is a particular format in which you have to reply to the reviewers. Okay, you have to type their comment, then you have to type how you have made the changes, and then you have to cite the line number, that in this line number I have made the changes corresponding to your query. Now after doing all this, they will give you some timeline for your corrections. Then after doing all the corrections, you will have to resubmit to their website once again as a revision part. Now again it will go to the reviewers, and then they will take some amount of time, like maybe 1 month or 1.5 months. This time it may be lesser than the first time, because they are just some minor revisions or some revisions only. It's not the complete manuscript that they have to go through. Instead they have to go through your revisions only. So after 1 month or 1.5 month, they will again give a certain decision. Now again that decision can be rejection, acceptance, or re-revision. Again this loop will go on till the point where you get some certain bold statement from the editor that your paper is accepted or your paper is rejected. If it gets accepted, then what happens? Then your paper will go through a production check, wherein the production people of the journal, they will do some formatting and all. They will raise some issues regarding formatting, like your table is not properly formatted, your figures are not properly formatted, and they will send you the queries and you will have to reply to those queries. After that it will come for proofreading. Now after production, your paper is they find that the paper is suitable to get published, but still they will have some issues. They will address all those issues in a certain PDF format, which is called as proofreading. They will send you the final draft of the paper, where they will have some issues, like maybe they have adjusted some grammatical mistakes which cannot be identified by the reviewers, or they will adjust some sentences based on their typing and all, because they have some certain format. No, so these proofreaders, what they will do is they will draft your paper in their format. You have submitted the manuscript in a Word format, but they have their own formats of the final published paper. So they will set your papers according to that. So they will tell you, like, your final paper will look like this, whether this table is fine here, whether something is wrong in the final paper. You have to address those things. If some reference is missing, if some citation is missing, the year, the date, anything is missing, they will ask you in the comments, and you will have to answer to those queries finally. This is how you have to submit the proofs. Now, where to submit the proofs? You will have to again check their websites, or they will tell you in the email itself that you can submit your proofs through this website or through this link, and so on. Then after the proofs, you have to wait for some time, maybe 15 days or 10 days or 2 weeks, something like that, and your paper will finally get published, and you will receive a copy of your paper through the email. So this is how the complete timeline of publishing a paper looks like. Now, since my paper got recently published, I will give you some 4 to 5 tips of getting a paper published easily. The very first and very important thing is that your paper should have more of a quantitative data than a qualitative data. Like, for example, if my paper was based on site data for 30 days, I went to site for minimum 45 days, from which I collected 30 data points. So basically you can think of it as 30 days data only, because 15 days I took for understanding the site and all. So I collected some very solid quantitative data. If I would have gone for this survey part and I would have not conducted this site visit, then my chances of the paper getting accepted would have been very less. But since I went for a very good site visit for 30 days maybe, so the paper got accepted. I would give the credits of all this to my site visit only. The second is your grammar should be very decent, and also your English should be up to the mark. If your English is not good, like, the editor may screen it further even if your English is not excellent, but the reviewers, they are quite good in all this. If your English and grammar would not be that good, they might reject the paper. Like in my paper, the editor passed the paper, but still they had some punctuation mistakes, some maybe some alphabetical mistakes or something like that. Those were pointed out by the reviewers and not by the editor. The editor won't point out these things, the reviewers pointed out. But if the grammatical mistakes would be too large in number, then they may reject your paper because of this reason also. The third point would be the backup of the literature, like the backup of all your statements with the literature. Not all the statements, I would say. If you are making some very bold statements, if you are giving some numerical statements, then always those statements should be backed up with the proper and suitable literature. Like for example, in my paper I gave that almost this percentage of the buildings are reinforced concrete buildings in construction. Like the percentage that I wrote it from some certain paper, and I backed it up with that particular literature. Similarly, so many sentences and so many citations I kept in my paper, which is a useful thing. The authors, the reviewers would believe your statements if your statements are backed up with proper literature. The next is a fulfilling research gap in the existing literature. This is very important part. The reviewer should get a feel that you are really contributing to the existing body of knowledge of the literature. If you have some very fine-tuned research gap on which you are working, then your paper would have higher chances of getting accepted. Like your research gap should be really attractive for the reviewers. They should feel that you are excellently contributing to the research body, and you should address each and every comment, because if they will see that all their comments have been addressed, then they will be very much impressed with your paper and they might accept your paper. I addressed the comments of all the 3 viewers very nicely in my paper, and hence the paper got accepted. So for me it took 7 to 8 months, because they sent the revisions 2 times. First time revision was a major revision. When I revised the paper after first revision, then the second time when they sent the comments, those comments were very nice and they were appreciating the quality time that I have spent on the manuscript to make the manuscript fine-tuned. So I think this video would be helpful for you. All the best for your publishing the paper. Thank you everyone.